Heavenly Father, we come to you to ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we conduct this meeting. Please come upon us and be with us throughout this meeting. Keep us united in purpose and lead us to successful, productive results. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, friends. Secretariat, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum. Present in today's meeting are the following: Attorney Rustico D. Quezon III, Mr. John Michael Lim, Ms. Lynn Sanchez, Ms. Janice D. Raimundo, Attorney Cynthia Dungka, Attorney Jezreel Santos, Mr. Noli Ocampo, Engineer Celeste Ramos via Zoom, Ms. Kathleen Gozo, Mr. Antonio Villavicencio Jr., and a representative from the Internal Audit Department, Ms. July Torres.
There being a quorum, this meeting is now called to order. Agenda item, Secretariat.
Our agenda items for today are the following: the pre-bid conference of the project Supply Delivery and Subscription of Web Application Firewall and Anti-Distributed Denial of Service Solutions. We also have requests for PPMP amendments for the accounts printing and binding expense of the OP PAD, the office supplies of the admin department, and other supplies of the OVP for finance.
Okay, moving on to second. Thank you. So let's begin with the first agenda, the pre-bid conference. Supply delivery and subscription of web application firewall and anti-DDoS. So we would like to acknowledge the presence of our prospective bidders. First, NextGen Tech Global, represented by J.M. Santos and Zarina Lope. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Next is Novare Technologies, Inc., represented by Ms. Genevieve Onyas and Sir Jose Carlo Mendoza.
Morning po.
And finally, Questech Company Incorporated, represented by Joey Tam.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
So this is the pre-bid conference for the said project. And before we allow our prospective bidders to ask questions, we'll be presenting the terms of reference for the said project. We'll be presenting. So Joey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Regular members of the RAP, WG, representative from Audit Department. I represent for this pre-bid conference project ID number SIAC Backbooks P81. The project title Supply Delivery and Subscription of Web Application Firewall and Anti-Distributed Denial Service Solution. Scope of the bid: procuring entity, Clark International Airport Corporation. Procurement project, supply delivery and subscription of web application firewall and anti-distributed denial of service solution. SIAC Backwoods P81, 1 lot, details of which are described in Section 7 Technical Specification. Funding information, corporate budget for CY 2025 in the amount of 4,990,000. The source of funding is corporate operating budget of SIAC. Big data sheet, as you shown from this on your screen po, nirarantan ko na lang po yung mga ITV clause. ITV clause 5.4 up to ITV clause 7.1, ITV clause 11.2, For the schedule of requirements, item number 1, subscription of cloud-based web application firewall and anti-distributed denial of services service solution, quantity 1 lot, total 1 lot, delivered weeks, months, compliant with the technical specification within 60 calendar days from contract signing. Technical specification, 1 item, minimum specification, provision under the terms of reference. Highlights on the terms of reference, scope of work. A. The successful bidder/supplier is required to provide and set up the WAP and anti-DDoS solution at the SIAC office located at Clark Freeport Zone, Pampanga. B. The winning bidder supplier must be offered 8 by 5 or 8 hours by 8 hours and 5 days in a week. Technical support via phone or email, as well as on-site support if required throughout the 1-year contract duration. Technical specification. A suggested solution should include a license for one root domain and an unlimited number of subdomain for WAP and anti-DDoS solution. B. A proposed solution should support the use of custom SSL certificate. C. The suggested solution must guarantee 100% uptime. D. The proposed solution should be capable of migrating traffic from client with poor reputation, anonymous proxies, and top of the rack network. E. The proposed solution should provide certificate transparency, monitoring to help customers detect malicious certificate and send an email alert when certificate is issued for one of the domains. F. The proposed solution should support TLS 1.3 and allow control over the minimum version of TLS. G. The proposed solution should automatically manage SSL renewal upon expiry. H. The proposed solution should be capable of filtering traffic to origin servers to remove all non-useful traffic and eliminate known or suspected malicious traffic. I. The proposed solution should include a WAP that support OSWAP mode, security core set or equivalent. Updates rules set to protect against known attack vectors. Allow custom WAP rules including redx. J. The proposed solution should provide unlimited DDoS protection regardless of the number of times, size, and duration within additional charges. K. The proposed solution should have an architecture for absorption/deflection/scrubbing for layer 7 DDoS attack using WAP technology or other demonstrated competencies. L. Proposed solution should protect against the OSWAP top 10 web application security risks for web and API traffic. M. The proposed solution should support AI, ML, or to uncover anomalies, predict the frequency and volumes of attack, and detect abnormal sequential paths. And the proposed solution should enforce blocking of any attack in line with the third-party integration. O. The proposed solution should provide way to implement SSL certificate using ECDSA as cryptographic and remove non-secure cipher sites. P. The proposed solution should protect against SLQ injection, cross-site scripting, directory traversal, a local file inclusion, and external entity expansion. Q. The proposed solution should provide an IPv4, IPv6 gateway for origins that not support either IPv4 or IPv6 are. The proposed solution should be able to manage DNS services and, and natively support DNSSEC with algorithm 13. S. The proposed solution should act as an authoritative DNS. T. The proposed solution should provide a managed authoritatively authoritatively authoritative 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 DNS that serves DNS responses within approximately 10 milliseconds, 10 minutes, 10 milliseconds for Q. The proposed solution should propagate DNS records in 5 seconds. The proposed solutions have at least 20 terabytes in global capacity for DDoS protection. W. The proposed solution should provide the capacity to serve stale content if the origin server are offline, even with the cache version as expired. X. The proposed solution should offer cache at the edge capability to serve frequently access static content from the solution data center without fetching from the origin. Y. The proposed solution and the winning bidder supplier should provide 20 by 27 email/ticket and phone support within 100% uptime and quarterly health check until service is terminated. Warranty services. A. Terms of reference compliance. The winning bidder supplier guarantees strict adherence to all terms and conditions outlined in the terms of reference. B. Technical support expertise. The winning bidder/supplier must ensure that its on-call technical personnel and are capable of thoroughly analyzing technical issues escalated by SIAC and providing prompt permanent solution. C. Service and personal reliability. The winning bidder supplier warrants the reliability of its services and that its personnel are hardworking, qualified, reliable, and dedicated to fulfilling the service and deliverables to the SIAC satisfaction. They must employ well-behaved and honest personnel while working within SIAC premises. The winning bidder/supplier is prohibited from employing any SIAC personnel in any capacity. D. Permits and compliance. The winning bidder/supplier is responsible for securing and maintaining all necessary registration, licenses, and permits required by national or local laws. They must also adhere to the rules, regulation, and directives of all relevant regulatory authorities and commission. The winning bidder/supplier will pay all fees and charges applicable to the coordination. The winning bidder/supplier must coordinate with authorized SIAC personnel in the performance of their duties. F. Liability. The winning bidder/supplier is liable for any loss, damage, or injury that arises directly or indirectly from the fault or negligence of its personnel. They assume full responsibility, and the SIAC is specially released from any all liabilities resulting from the bidder-supplier personal action. G. Subscription and maintenance. The winning bidder/supplier will provide 1-year subscription and maintenance support for the web application firewall and anti-distributed denial service solution procured by SIAC. Knowledge transfer and technology updates. A. The winning bidder/supplier is required to provide knowledge transfer and/or technology updates to SIAC and the end user or technical personnel. This training will focus on orienting personnel with completed installation, equipment types, functionalities, configuration, operation, and maintenance of its system provided. B. The knowledge transfer and/or technology update must be taken place at a location mutually agreed upon by SIAC and the winning bidder/supplier. C. The winning bidder/supplier is responsible for the providing all necessary resources, including but not limited to the venue, training materials, digital or printed, and meals. D. All costs associated with knowledge transfer and/or technology updates are sole responsibility of the winning bidder/supplier. Documentation. It is responsibility of the winning bidder/supplier to furnish project documentation, either hard copy or soft copy within contract period. B. All such documentation is mandatory, deliverable of the acceptance process and will become the property of SIAC. Payment schedule. Deliverables. Supply and delivery and subscription of web application firewall and anti-distributed denial of service solution. Number 1. Implementation of configuration. Number 2. Technology transfer. 3. Project documentation. Payment 100%. Schedule within 60 calendar days from contract signing. Liquidated damages. 1/10 of the 1% of the contract price must be imposed per day of the delay. Checklist of the technical and financial document. Technical component envelope. Class A document, legal document. A. Valid field registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages in accordance with section 20 of IRR of RA number 12009. B. Updated general information sheet reflecting the beneficial of ownership information duly submitted to the SEC in accordance with the annual repositorial requirements. Technical document. Statement of the prospective bidders of all is ongoing government and private contract, including contract awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and statement of bidders single largest completed contract SLCC similar to the contract to be bid except under condition provided in section 52.4.1.3 and 52.41.1.4 of the IRR of RA number 12009 within relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security, if any form of a surety bond submitted, also a certificate issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration and conformity within technical specification and terms of reference TOR, which may include production, delivery, schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales part, if any, if applicable, and original duty sign omnibus sworn statement in accordance with section 54.3 of IRR of RA number 12009, and if applicable, original notarized secretary's certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority of its officer to sign OSS and do act as represent to the bidder. Financial document. Age The prospective bidders computation and net financial contracting capacity, NFCC or A limited line of credit from Universal or Commercial Bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B document. I. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement JVA in case the joint venture is already existent, or duly unauthorized statement from all potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into a abide by the provision of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. For the financial component envelope, J. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and original duly signed and accomplished price schedule. Other documentary requirements under RA number 12009 as applicable. For foreign bidders claiming by the reason and other countries extension of reciprocal rights to Filipino, certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipino are allowed to participate in government procurement activities for the same item or product. Certification from DTI if bidders claims reference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. Note to the filing out of price schedule form under section 61.2.1a completeness of bids. Unless the instruction to the bidders specifically allow partial bids not addressing or providing all of the required item in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, when no price or zero or thus is indicated in the required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that it is being offered for free to the government except those required by law or regulation to be provided for. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sir Dennis. So before I call on the prospective bidders, I would like to acknowledge additional prospective bidders from Plexus Systems team, represented by Marie Trinidad. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
We also have Casey Lansangan. I don't know what company Casey Lansangan is representing. Casey Lansangan. Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Art Building. Yes. And also, okay, additionally, we also have Sir Edwin Digaya from Novare Technologies. Good morning. All right. So let's begin the questions from our prospective bidders. Let's start first with the next gen, Global. Any questions po on our project? Yes, yes. After you can send your queries also through our secretariat.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, any questions from Novare Technologies?
As of the moment, question
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sir Edwin from Novare. Next, any questions from Westec Company Incorporated? Sir Joey Tarun, Westec. locally based personnel. Show that. Sandali lang, Sir Joey, no? We'll just pull up the requirement dun sa query. Personnel yung sabihan. Yan. Are you referring to this one? The one on the screen? It's secure software professional. At least one personnel and yun lang naman ata requirement. Anong pinaparelax mo? Sorry. Kung locally based. Hindi naman namin nililimit yung CSSLE personnel. No? So, kung yes, we will allow that. Sige, for that one, we will consult with our end users, no? And we will be issuing a supplemental big bulletin to answer your query on this. No? All right. Thank you, Sir Joey from Questec. And finally, from Lexus, Ms. Malik, and any queries or questions?
So under wala naman sa
Okay, thank you. So, I see Novara Technologies raising your hands. So, Novara Technologies. Kasi Carlo, ito. Any questions? Provide me any question? SBB. Okay. Alright. Since merong discrepancy, again, we will just issue our answer in the supplemental. Alright. Okay. Thank you. So, there are no other questions, Secretariat?
Reminders to prospective bidders. The deadline for the submission of queries and or requests for clarification is on May 20, 2025, Tuesday, not later than 5 p.m. All queries should be sent through the email address backsecretariat@siac.com.ph. All letters and or notices sent to and issued by the SIAC RBAC shall be coursed through the email address provided. All prospective bidders or bidders are required to provide the RBAC Secretariat their respective official email addresses. Otherwise, the email address used by the company in communicating with the RBAC through the RBAC Secretariat shall be considered the official email address of the said company. All prospective bidders or bidders are also required to acknowledge the receipt of all notices or letters issued by the RBAC. The issuance of the bid bulletin is on May 23, 2025, Friday, and shall be posted at the website of SIAC, that is siac.gov.ph, and philjobs.gov.ph on the same day. The deadline for the submission of bids is on May 30, 2025, Friday. Bids must be duly received by the SIAC Records Management Division, located in the SIAC Corporate Office Building, not later than 10 a.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. The opening of bids shall be conducted on May 30, 2025, Friday, 10:15 a.m. at the SIAC Corporate Office Building, Civil Aviation Complex, Clark Freeport Zone, and through video conferencing using Zoom application. Only one representative for each bidder shall be allowed to be physically present to attend the opening of bids. For bidders who shall attend the opening of bids through video conference, they are advised to indicate their company name and full name as their username for proper identification. Bidders are required to submit one original and 2 copies of the first and second components of its bid, which shall be signed and or initialed on each and every page thereof by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. May we also remind the bidders that the bidding for SIAC projects shall be governed by all provisions of Republic Act No. 12009 and its implementing rules and regulations, including associated policies, rules and regulations as a primary source thereof, while the terms of reference and other clauses provided on the bidding documents shall serve as a secondary source thereof. The procurement law is controlling and deep written into the bidding documents, and it is incumbent upon bidders to be familiar and compliant with its provisions. The bidder, by the act of submitting its bid, shall be deemed to have verified and accepted the general requirements of this project, including other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instructions, forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. We also put emphasis on Section 61 of the IIR of R8 of 0009 for the procurement of buildings and infrastructure projects. The BAC shall evaluate the technical and financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the steps as provided for in this section. Prospective bidders are reminded that the suspended or blacklisted supplier, contractor, or consultant shall not be allowed to participate in all procurement opportunities of the government for the duration of the suspension or blacklisting, regardless of the modality of procurement employed by the procuring entity. Bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The RBAC shall assume no responsibility for the displacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or unmarked bid or for its premature opening. Should the bidder decide not to submit a bid, said bidder should justify in writing to the RBAC the reason for non-submission. This provision is applicable to companies who have purchased the bidding documents for the said project. Pursuant to Section 99.1 of the IRR of RA number 12009, the HOPE shall impose the penalty of suspension for 1 year for the first offense and suspension of 2 years for the second offense for withdrawing a bid without justifiable cause. Note: caution to prospective bidders. Should there be individuals posing on behalf of the SIAC RBAC, TWG, and Secretariat as agents or fixers, the same shall be reported to the SIAC RBAC immediately. This shall not be tolerated by the SIAC RBAC. The bidding shall be conducted impartially and fairly, and no favoritism shall be extended to any prospective bidder or bidder. For as long as the same submits complete requirements, the said bidder shall be qualified. Reminders on the accomplishment of bidding forms. For the technical component or the first envelope. Legal documents, valid PhilJobs registration certificate. Certification should be platinum membership. It must be valid at the time of bid opening. It shall be signed certified through copy per page. Updated general information sheet with beneficial ownership declaration. The original document referred to must have an acknowledgement sheet from the Securities and Exchange Commission. commission. The submitted copy shall be signed, certified through copy per page. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium, in case of JV or consortium. Be specific on the name of the contract, owner's name and address, date of contract, nature of work, and contractor's role, consistent with the supporting documents. Supporting documents in the technical component is not required. However, during the conduct of post-qualification, the original copies of the supporting documents shall be presented. Supporting documents are the contracts, notices of award, or notices to proceed. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. The bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. For this purpose, similar contracts shall refer to the specific items identified under ITB Clause 5.8 of the bid data sheet. This statement shall be supported with the end user's acceptance or official receipts or sales invoice issued for the contract. During the post-qualification, the bank may request for documents for additional payment. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium. Be specific on the name of the contract, owner's name and address, date of contract, nature of work, and contractor's role, consistent with the supporting documents. The actual total contract value at completion shall meet the required experience of having completed SLCC that is similar to the project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. SLCC should be completed project. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. Original copy of bid security. Bid security shall be in the form and amounts provided under Section 56.2 of the IRR, RA number 12009. If in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or if in the form of bid securing declaration, this form should be duly signed by the authorized signatory of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium. This form should be notarized. Bidder shall submit the original copy of the bid securing declaration. Conformity with technical specifications, which may include the word comply or comply shall be indicated in each line item indicated under the statement of compliance column. All pages should be signed or authenticated, including the certification signed by authorized personnel and the brochures attached as part of the bid. Amendments to the bidding documents, which will be issued through bid bulletins, shall be integrated in the statement of conformity, or copy of the bid bulletin shall be likewise signed comply. The actual model or brand offered must be used during the bid. For the original duly signed omnibus form statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of authority of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and who acts to represent the bidder. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium. Omnibus form statement should be notarized. Bidder shall submit the original copy of the omnibus form statement. Use the prescribed format or template of the omnibus form statement. For the financial documents, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or the committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. The formula provided under Section 52.4.1.4 of the IRR RA number 12009 shall be followed. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with the RA number 4566 and its IRR in case of the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners, stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Other requirements. For foreign bidders claiming by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, a certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in government procurement activities for the same item or product. A certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. For the financial component or the second envelope, original or of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium. Bidders shall submit the original copy of the bid form. In filling out the bid form, bidders shall provide a discount offer in the form of amount, in figures and in words, including its application and methodology. In case of no discount offered, bidders shall write none. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. When no price or a zero or a dash is indicated in a required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. For sealing and marking guidelines, the contents are for the main bid or the box or envelope. It shall have the original bid, copy number 1 and copy number 2. With the original bid having the original technical component, original financial component, and copy number 1 having copy number 1 technical component, and copy number 1 financial component, and copy number 2 technical component, and copy number 2 financial component. For the main bid box or envelope, the format are as follows. Common reasons for disqualification. Non-submission of any of the required documents in the technical and financial component of the bid. Non-declaration of all ongoing contracts. Declaration of SLCC not contracted or completed. Falsification of documents in the bid submission. Some pages are not signed or initialed. Failure to indicate comply where it is required in the technical specifications. Failure to integrate the bid bulletin in the technical specifications, or failure to indicate comply in the bid bulletin. Incorrect submission of omnibus form statement in the prescribed form, and expired platinum field jobs registration. That is it.
Thank you, Secretary. So, thank you very much to our prospective bidders, namely NextGen Tech Global, Novara Technologies, Westec Inc., and Plexus Systems Inc. Thank you for participating in our pre-bid conference for this project. And you're now excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ang mga niya kasi. Hindi ko anin.
Ayan, sir.
Ang mga pagkakulitan leader. Kaya lang ko pangalay. One slide. Edwin Digala.